let's not take our eye off the ball. Long before the war broke out between Israel and Gaza, long before the GOP started holding its debates, long before even the whole slew of trials designed to ensnare Donald Trump and stop him from returning to the White House, there was this one increasingly incontrovertible fact. Namely, that Joe Biden and his wastrel son Hunter's business dealings were far more connected than either one of them cares to admit. And in the coming year, the Biden family business schemes are going to present a massive problem for the Democrats that is going to weigh heavily on the minds of those who decide whether or not Joe Biden actually is allowed to run again. Consider this from a press conference just 2 days ago, when the president was asked about his business dealings with his son Hunter's business associates.
Can you explain to the Americans, amid this impeachment inquiry, why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
Lies, just a bunch of lies. Not even a malarkey. Were you convinced? I wasn't, because if you look at just some of the documented meetings between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's business associates, it doesn't look like these were lies at all. It looks, in fact, like a pattern of corruption between Hunter and Joe to sell influence and access to the U.S. government. Here's a small and entirely incomplete list just to get you started. In November 2010, Joe Biden had a sit-down meeting with Eric Schwerin, the president of Hunter's private equity firm, in the West Wing, and used a secret email to exchange hundreds of emails between them when he was vice president. In December 2013, Hunter flew with Joe Biden aboard Air Force Two to China, where he introduced him to Jonathan Lee, a Chinese businessman. Next year, April 2014, Joe Biden met with Devon Archer, another co-founder of Hunter's private equity firm, in the White House a week before Archer joined the board of Burisma. Remember our Ukrainian oil and gas friends? August 2014, pictures show Joe Biden golfing with his son Hunter and Devon Archer, while they were both, that's Hunter and Devon, serving on the Burisma board. I wonder what they discussed at the 19th hole. April 2015, Joe Biden attended a dinner in Washington, D.C. with Hunter's business partners from Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. Would have been an interesting chat. November 2015, Joe Biden hosted his son's Mexican business partners, Carlos Slim, Miguel Alamin Velasco, and Miguel Alamin Magnani, at his personal residence. May 2017, Joe Biden meets with family business partner Tony Bobulinski twice. And that's the same, by the way, Tony Bobulinski, who testified under oath that the big guy, the guy who was getting 10% of everything, was none other than Joe Biden. It's funny. I was thinking about this. It seems like for the left, corruption is fine, selling access is fine. I suspect they would have looked at that and thought the biggest crime of the Bidens was using that triggering word guy. But hey, guys, I got to ask, why is the president lying? Well, I think it's fairly obvious. On the subject of Bobulinski, he voluntarily provided testimony to the FBI that he met Joe on 2 occasions in Beverly Hills, California in 2017. On the first time, Jim and Hunter were present, and on the second time, Bobulinski met with Joe Biden alone. The New York Post's Miranda Devine reports this week that Bobulinski told her, "Why is Joe Biden blatantly lying to the American people and the world by claiming that he did not meet with me face to face? He should call his son Hunter and brother Jim, as they can remind him of the facts. The American people deserve the truth. I call on Mr. Biden to stop lying and correct the record," he said. Now, beyond all this, there is other sworn testimony, bank records, emails, texts, WhatsApp, the whole box and dice, linking Joe to Hunter's business ventures. Joe, remember, is the guy who was to be the figurehead that Hunter was selling access to. Without Joe, Hunter has no business model at all. It stinks, and it's corrupt, and it represents the selling out of America by the side of politics that loves to pretend that it's squeaky clean while acting like Republicans are the real crooks. Burisma, the Chinese, even the wife of a Russian oligarch who just managed somehow, coincidentally, to stay off the sanctions list after Putin invaded Ukraine, well, they're all the beneficiaries. This ain't going away, and if the press does its job, it will have a big bearing on what happens next November.